Have you ever wondered how wealth is distributed throughout our economy? Do you ever wonder why there's so few rich people, but so many people in poverty? What about wondering how people end up with so much money and with so little as well? Hi everyone, my name is Sydney. Today I'll be talking about Alvin Chang's article, Why the Super Rich Are Inevitable. This is a piece of journalism that I'm going to be analyzing in today's video. At the start, the author incorporated pathos into his piece by sharing a relatable experience with his audience. He explains how he had previously bought a vintage watch, which he later found out was overpriced. He figured he would eventually earn the money he spent back in future purchases, but soon found that to be false. Alvin's use of pathos at the beginning of the reading evokes a feeling of pity from the readers and turns their attention in his favor by putting them in the position to hear his thoughts on the system that set this scenario up. After a brief story given by the author about how he overpaid for a watch by $50, he gives a definition of an oligarchy. An oligarchy is defined as a few rich people and very little for everyone else by the author. I think this was a bold move to make by the author to add this at the start of the article. I believe that the reasoning that he did this was to capture the reader's attention right off the start so that they would further read more about why he believes that the system is an oligarchy. The article by Alvin Chang discusses how he believes the economy is built to make only a few people rich by talking about a mathematical system called the yard sale model. The author explains the yard sale model very briefly at the start of the article by saying in a free market, one person ends up with all of the wealth completely by chance. There are simulations you can play throughout the article where you play from the standpoint of a poorer person against a richer person. These scenarios are played out throughout the article in coin flip scenarios. As stated, when you lose, the maximum amount you can wager goes down, so you can't win back what you lost in one coin flip. But when you win, the amount you wager goes up, so you could potentially lose more than what you won in the first game. These provide visual examples of how the yard sale model plays throughout our economy. I now want to explain how the author used ethos. Throughout the reading, Alvin Chang uses ethos in his journalism piece by providing background information on how the yard sale model was discovered and used by physicists. Using this method of ethos in his piece builds trust between the audience and credibility for his claims about our economy. Furthermore, the piece contains evidence derived from statistical data in the U.S. to support Alvin's claims about our economy and his thoughts on redistribution of wealth. As stated in his text, even with redistribution, the wealthiest person in the game is exponentially richer than the poorest. He conveys this through a simulation you can play through in the article. This method of logos convinces the audience through evidence that the redistribution of wealth is not as much of an effective method of leveling the wealth gap in the U.S. Overall, I think that the article was very well structured for its audience, and I think that the author did a good job of incorporating ethos, pathos, and logos into his piece. Well, that's all I have for today. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. Bye.